What's a challenge right now you're experiencing as a CEO we would need to work through right now?
I want to make a product that better helps our customers, our clients.
With the insight that you have right now, what's the next step in applying this into your business?
So my next step would be getting more of problems that they're facing at the moment. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just need to push to take the decision to actually make your own company and just start doing your stuff.
Now imagine quitting your 9 to 5 job and starting your very own software tech company. Now in this episode, Omar Mehdy, who's the CEO and founder of Spectrum Codes, did exactly that. Now in this episode, Omar shared his mindset of what it took for him to move from being a 9 to 5 employee to now running his own company. Also, together with Omar, we explore some of the game-changing strategies that he's been applying to acquire new clients. So if right now you're struggling with getting new clients, this is an episode for you. Enjoy. Now, before we dive into today's session, let's spotlight the visionary CEO. Visionaries are passionate, innovative, big picture thinkers. They excel at providing inspirational leadership through sheer enthusiasm and influence. But visionaries must balance their focus on the horizon with executing in the here and the now. After all, grand vision amounts to little without grounded action. Now, our guest today, Omar Mehdy, fully embodies the visionary archetype. As the founder of Spectrum Code, he led his company to prominence through sheer passion, vision, and drive. I can't wait to unpack Omar's journey from quitting his job as a product development specialist to running an ERP tech company right here in China while still maintaining his visionary approach of dreaming big and rallying his team towards a bold future. Now let's give a warm welcome to the one and only Omar Mehdy. And it's so great to have you on the show today, brother. How you doing?
Same, brother. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for such an amazing introduction, man.
Come on, you know how I do it, man. I gotta bring my A game when I'm interviewing awesomeness.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man.
now, now one thing I'm always curious about is that entrepreneurial story. Like where did that entrepreneurial spirit and drive from you originally came from? Yeah, being a student here in China originally, and then you start working a full-time job, and then you had the courage of starting your own company. Where
Yes.
did that come from? Where did the madness come from?
Well, to be honest, I can't really pinpoint one point in my life that I had this entrepreneurial jump. But as young as I was, I think at the age of what, like 10 or 11 years old, I've always admired the busy businessman mindset. Like traveling from one place to the other, doing deals here and there, known worldwide for business acumen. I always loved and admired this mindset. Then, sometime along the way, when life hits you and you start just going to university and college, and then you're just you graduated, you search for the job, but in the end it has this empty feeling that's not exactly what I want with my life. So I took a couple of jobs. One of them was a managerial job in a factory, and then a product specialist in another company. But then it felt like there's something that's missing. There's something that's missing. I can actually do a company for my own self. And it happens that I love programming, and I'm self-taught programmer. And then I got the test,
Oh,
then
wow.
became yeah, I got accredited by the Egyptian Ministry of Telecommunication as a professional front-end web developer. And I thought, yeah, let's make this shift.
Man, that's
Yes,
crazy. That must took a lot of courage. And it's interesting how you said you felt this feeling of emptiness, and then that
yes,
that kind of motivated you to make that shift. I was actually had a session with my partner this morning, and she was just
yes,
trying to get that story out of me. And she was sharing with me the hero's journey. And the first stage of the hero's journey, it's called a calling. And when you have that
yes,
calling, it's like you have this sense of emptiness inside of you where you feel like something still need to be filled within you.
exactly,
Yeah. And what I know,
exactly.
sometimes there's a lot of people who still in that space. Yeah, where they have that feeling, but yet they haven't have the courage to make that jump. Where did that courage, where do you believe that courage came from for you personally? to make that switch, especially being here in China as a foreigner? Yeah, where did that courage
Yes.
came from for you personally?
Well, the courage came from it. It was like, to be honest, it wasn't something as planned. Like I didn't like plan that it was time to take a decision. It was actually something that happened through my steps of my career step. They just it was like at that time the job that I was working at uh, it basically, let's say how it worked, things didn't work out with the company.
Uh-huh.
Things didn't work out at that time. There was a little bit of issues with the company that I was working with, and I took the job. And then after 3 or 4 months, I didn't find that that's exactly what I wanted. And at that time, I said that's enough, because I took 2 jobs before that, and that was the third job. So I was like, no, that's not gonna work anymore. That's not gonna work. So it was a little bit of something that was external. I don't know if the
Mhm.
job worked well. I would have been until now employed, but at that time the job wasn't the thing that I wanted exactly. It wasn't the thing.
Ah, that's interesting.
I
That's
said,
so interesting. Okay,
so I
okay.
said like,
So,
that's
uh,
the time.
it wasn't 100% courage first. There was
No,
external influences that created the opportunity for you to take courage.
exactly. So it's basically that, like, uh, you feel like it's time to move already. Like
Mm,
it's the idea was there. The idea was there, and that's why I picked it up quickly after I took the shift. The
yeah.
idea was there, point was there. I was already working on the company for some time, and
Mm,
then this point just gave me the push.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
you just need to push to take the decision to actually make your own company and just start doing your stuff.
That's crazy. I remember you telling me that both of our stories are a bit similar. Now I'm seeing that it is actually, because when I came back to
Very true.
China in at the end of 2020, I came back to China as a support engineer. Yeah, supporting Microsoft
Yes.
clients. And even though I was good technically, I didn't want to be an engineer anymore. Like I gave up my engineering hat in 2017 when I found entrepreneurship. And I
Yes.
applied for a new job with better salary. But even though the new job is not what I wanted, I was working on my coaching business while I was doing my engineering
Yes.
gig. And through applying for that new job, 3 days before my resignation, the new job employer told me that they can't hire me anymore. And because of that, I made that courageous decision to go full in my coaching because I was already preparing. And I think that's a big but that's a big note, a big message for those who are listening who haven't made the full jump as yet, is that it's important for you to be working on that dream or that lifestyle or your project
Yes.
even before making the transition. So I'm
Yes.
really happy that
Very
that
true.
resonated.
Yes.
Mm. And what would you say? What would you say your most okay? What would you say right now? Like if you had to look back right now, what would you have done differently? Yes, looking back from this lens, what would you have done differently?
If I would have one day back, I would basically start the company from the get-go.
Oh
I
wow.
wouldn't take, because yes, to be honest, like the point is, when you start your own company and you're doing your own thing, you're having this freedom of doing what you like. Don't get me wrong, you work harder than being an employee. There's a big misconception that if you have a job, you work more than having an entrepreneurial position. But this is absolutely wrong. You work much more. But the point is, you're doing what you like. So if I had one day that I would move back in time, I would basically start doing my own company and doing my own thing from the get-go.
Hmm. Hmm. As you were saying that in my head, I'm trying to, seeing how I would have answered that question. And a part of me is thinking
Yes.
that for me, I don't think I would have been ready earlier. For me personally,
Yeah.
I don't think I would have been ready earlier. And a part of me feel like when I started was exactly when I was supposed to start it. Like if it was a stroke
Very
of
true.
faith, yeah, that's how I feel. But it's interesting. Yeah, being able to go back then and start then. Yeah. Hmm.
Very
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah. What I want to do here now is something that I think most people don't get to see, or even most tech CEOs don't get to hear. So what I want to do, I'm going to do a bit of coaching, and you can decide to answer the question
Awesome.
based. If you feel uncomfortable, I can, don't ask certain question, but you have that freedom and will. So I'll just be asking you a series of coaching questions just to work your current challenge that you're currently having as a tech startup CEO. As I believe that, having this
Wonderful.
conversation would be of most value to our listeners. Now, Omar, let's say we had to have a truly extraordinary conversation today. And this was one of the most
Awesome.
extraordinary conversations you've ever had to this date. What's a challenge right now you're experiencing as a CEO we would need to work through right now?
A challenge that I'm working on right now.
Well, it could be a challenge you're working on or a challenge that you're experiencing as a startup CEO. It could be just any one
Hmm.
challenge.
Okay. So basically, if we're going to say that I'm working on a challenge, I want to make a product that better helps our customers, our clients,
Mm,
that makes them basically they can automate everything through one solution on the internet,
mm,
and just it basically helps their business do everything on its own. This is one challenge that we're working on at the moment.
mm. And so what I'm hearing is that you want to create a product that helps your clients, your customers, automate everything on the internet. Is
Yes,
that what I'm hearing? Yeah. And
yes,
what do you
yes.
find to be the biggest challenge with that? What's the biggest challenge with that?
The biggest challenge would be getting exactly what is the pain points of every business.
Mm. So getting the pain
That
points.
would be the basic, the most
Go ahead. Go ahead.
exactly pinpointing the pain points of every business, because each business is unique. It has its own vision, it has its own story, it has its own approach of approaching the problems of their customers. So pinpointing those is the real challenge, and trying to solve it exactly how the clients want it is the real challenge from my point of view.
Mm. And what would you say the real problem is? What's the real problem with that?
I Well, I would say that the real problem is uh, we are making massive improvements in the field of AI and technology and computers. So basically, the biggest problem I would see that people are not using computers and AI to the max. Like not using it to the point that they're really getting the full benefit out of everything that's going on at the moment. And that's what we're trying to do.
Mm.
This is one of the biggest pain points.
What do you feel would need to shift personally? What would you need to do differently?
From my side, right?
Mm, correct.
From my side, I would, of course, love to get to know more clients, talk to them, see what's the problems, basically get to know their point of view of how they are viewing their problem, how it is affecting them.
Mm. So what I'm hearing is that at this point you would,
That's the main.
yes. So what I'm hearing is simply you would need to speak to clients more and get their point of view of what the problem actually is. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes,
Mm. And
yes, exactly.
what would you say has been working well so far with that?
What would be working well so far? It would have been basically talking to people.
Mm,
Talking to people is one of, because when you're selling a product, one of the early approaches was selling the product right away, but the problem is you're not really directing it to the main problem. But talking more to clients is actually what gives you that feedback, that input.
mm. And what seems to not be working well? What's not working well?
What would be working well? I would say that I say it. So basically, what wouldn't be working well is the reach,
Mm, tell me more.
reaching our. So what we would be saying that reaching the right customer that has the problem that needs to be solved. So reaching the customers may be like widespread on the internet, or maybe we're not reaching them enough on an offline base, because most people would like a face-to-face more than just the online approach. So basically, not enough reach. That's what we're trying to improve, or let's say this is the major problem that we're trying to do at the moment.
So now I'm hearing that the problem is getting more reach to reach more of the clients who have that particular problem. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So now I just want to clarify. So is the problem getting more reach so you can find the right clients, or is the problem helping them automate their system? Which is the real problem?
The real problem is help more customers automate their services or their businesses. But one challenge that we are facing to solve this problem is the reach.
Okay. So let me ask this question again. So what's the real problem? Is the real problem the reach, or is the real problem getting them to automate their businesses?
The real problem, getting them to automate, of course. This is the main problem.
And what would you say is most challenging about getting them to automate?
Let's say getting them to automate that some people don't really understand the underlying problem of not automating their businesses. So they might be losing a lot of money and they don't even feel it. It's like the cigarette effect. People smoke because they don't see lung cancer coming to them at the moment. That's the problem. They smoke because they have the possibility that they might get lung cancer one time in their life, but they're not getting it right now. And this is the problem. They're slowly losing money, but if they look at the downside, that after some time, they're going to get a massive amount that they lost that they could have saved easily.
So what I'm hearing is that most people don't know what they're losing by not automating. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now,
exactly.
Knowing this,
yes.
What would you need to do differently?
What would I need to do differently? I would need to highlight the issue that comes from not automating your processes and using old techniques for new problems. So what we basically need is we need to highlight this issue and make it more understandable for people and more, more tangible, more they can feel it, they can see it. If this happens, I think that people change their minds about not using new technology solutions.
Yeah. And what resources do you currently have for making that possible? Like make people highlight the real problem that they would experience if they're not applying these new solutions. What resources do you have right now to help?
So if we have resources at the moment for that,
let me pull you back. Let me pull you back. Yeah. Not if. What are the resources you currently have right now that you can implement to highlight what you've just shared?
This issue. A product that we have at the moment is we offer, of course, a trial software that our customers use to see the difference in what they have at the moment and what they can achieve by using the full version of our product. So basically, people can try, they can see how is it really affecting what they're doing, and then they can make let's say an educated decision more than just a guess or something that is based on what we told.
And is there anything else?
At the moment, no, that's it. That's basically it. The trial product, we tried to talk to customers, explain to them the downside, but that's it.
And is there anything else you've been curious about trying that you haven't tried as yet?
Anything else that I haven't tried yet? So let's think about that. Something curious about trying that we haven't tried at the moment. At the moment, no, not really. Like there's nothing on the top of my mind. There's nothing on the top of my mind that yes. But I'm sure that there's a lot of things that we, of course, with research that we can find. But at the moment, on top of my head, no.
So let me repeat back what I'm hearing. Yeah. So we started the conversation with the biggest problem is that, to automate every single processes within your client's company. And the reason why
Yes.
this is a problem is because they haven't been able to see the downside of not having it. Yeah, it's like a cigarette smoker. He don't know like what's the downside of him smoking so much. Yeah, until it's too late. Yeah. And then what you can do differently is, giving them a trial version of your solution, and so they can see the difference between having it. Now, let's use a cigarette smoking analogy. Yeah. Let's say your clients were cigarette smokers. How would you get them? How would you highlight the tangible effects of what they're currently doing and the harm to them, to those as your clients? How would you do that?
I would try to find the fastest bad effect that they're having, that they're feeling at the moment, and try to multiply it as much as I can, because this is exactly what's going to happen. Like, basically, when you're starting to smoke a cigarette, you have shortness of breath. That happens right away. It doesn't take time. It happens right away. You have sore throats. If you get a flu, it's just terrible, the amount of mucus that you have. So all of these problems are tangible problems that you can touch right on the bat, right off the bat. That's what you're having. And that's going to be even 10 times more if you continue smoking, because the sore throat that you have maybe one day and day not, it's going to be a serious issue that is going to be always there, and multiply that issue by 100 if you continue down this path. So that's exactly how we can approach.
And how specifically?
Actually, this is a very good.
I know. So tell me, what is the insight? Let me know what's the insight. What's the insight? I was gonna ask another question, but it looks like you have an insight. What's the insight?
So the insight that I had is like, basically, that's the problem that maybe we are facing through our business as well. Like, we're not targeting tangible problems that they're seeing at the moment. We're targeting something that might happen. Losing money is a big issue that they might happen. It's not might, it will happen, but on a long time. People can't really see that. But there is a problem underlying at the moment that they can see and they can feel every day. That's exactly what we need to target. Yes. Beautiful. That's the insight.
Beautiful. Now let me ask you this. What's your next step? With the insight that you have right now, what's the next step in applying this into your business?
So my next step would be getting more of problems that they're facing at the moment, and then lead it to the bigger problem.
Yes. Yeah. Now, we started this conversation working through a challenge. And this challenge was, how can I automate all the processes in my client's business? And you came to this insight that, they don't see the downside of not having it. And using the analogy of smoking, you realize that, okay, if I'm going to really convince smokers or bring them into the light, you will need to highlight the problems that they're actually experiencing now and connecting that to the long-term bad effect.
Yes.
And you also see how you can apply that into your business.
Yes.
What did you love most about our conversation today, Omar?
Yes. As I usually every time we're talking, like, there's always a new insight. There is always something that pops up. Maybe sometimes things might be logical, but you can't see them right off the bat. Like, so you're doing something, you're working. Okay, it's logical, but the problem is that you get it out. This is the main problem. This is the main point. This is the thing that is really important. That's one thing that I would take is really helpful in this session.
Awesome. And I'm happy that I'm able to serve you and those who are listening. And even as you're listening, I want
you are.
I want the listeners.
You are.
Thank you. I want the listeners to listen for a distinction. because maybe they would have their own insights as well. And what I want to do in this segment is just ask you some quick fire fun questions. Yeah, and you can answer yes or no to these. Yeah, there's no right or wrong, and this will get viewers to get to know Omar, Mehdy a little bit better. So let's get the ball rolling. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Do you think entrepreneurship can be taught?
Have to be self-learned.
Do you think entrepreneurship can be taught?
No.
Is failure necessary for growth? Are free perks and benefits worth it? Is work-life balance achievable as a founder? Should tech CEOs be on social media?
Yes.
Are mastermind groups worth it?
Mastermind groups, I'm sorry.
Like a mastermind group would be a group of people with similar goals, similar ambition, working, supporting each other to achieve their goals.
Yes.
Do you is that yes or no for the previous one? Do you speed read?
Yes, of course, yes. I don't speed read.
Have you pulled an all-nighter in the last month? Do you have a daily routine? Do you believe there's one right way to lead?
No.
Thank you so much, Omar, Mehdy. And if this was your last message, if this was your last message on earth, what would you love to leave to those who are listening?
So I will tell everybody, keep chasing your dream, because every person born on this earth has a goal and has a purpose that was meant for him or her. So keep chasing your dream. Keep going. It's going to get tough. Keep going. It's not going to be easy. Keep going. But at the end of that path, if you keep going, you're going to achieve every single thing that you dreamed about, saw, or imagined.
You heard it from Omar. I think that would be it. Mehdy.
I hope that everybody.
Let's go. And for those who would love to connect with you, whether it's as a client, an investor, a friend, maybe just to catch up on some ERP, Python, or automation secrets, where can they connect with you?
Absolutely. So everybody, they can contact me through WeChat, LinkedIn. I'm really on those two. So basically, I don't know if we can have a description.
Definitely. I'll be leaving all that information in the description area. But just in case people are too lazy to go to the description, what is your LinkedIn handle?
My LinkedIn is Omar Mehdy. Omar Mehdy, Spectrum Codes Company. Or if you search for Spectrum Codes, it's going to be popping up.
Let's get it. Let's go. Thank you so much for your time, brother, and I really appreciate you sharing. And
thank you so much for having me. It's always in the case.
Awesome.
To be honest.
You've heard the stories and strategies of today's top tech CEOs. But where do you fit in? What's your unique superpower as a founder? Now take our free CEO type quiz to unlock your leadership blueprint and gain insights to maximize your potential. Now go to levelupwithdeano.com and take just 3 minutes to complete this quiz. Instantly receive a detailed report revealing your CEO type along with a personalized 3-phase plan for achieving abundance and freedom on your term. Are you a visionary, a driver, an analyst, community builder, or self-improver? Take the quiz now and own your entrepreneurial journey. Discover what makes you tick as a founder and learn to lead from your sweet spot for success. That's www.levelupwithdeano.com. Spelling matters. Make sure you get it right. Take the quiz and start leading on your term, your way. This is your key to freedom, and go and get it. levelupwithdeano.com.